for having me, this morning, especially given the fact that I'm a Kano man, and I've been very interested in the developments of Kano, specifically in the past 8 years or 10 years. And what you said is very true. The evolution of these two entities over time is a very interesting case study for political economics and also for socio-political, thought leaders and people that are interested in development. Kano has a longer history than Lagos, spanning over, in terms of political structure, in terms of being an economic hub, spanning over 600 years. Like you rightly said, the economic, powerhouse, but I call it the economic gateway of the Sahel. Right from over 600 years ago, the political structure, the institution of, leadership in Kano transcends over 600 years. What we see today as a political structure in Nigeria, the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary has been established for that length of time. Lagos, is also another city that, sprawled out and became, a fulcrum of development, especially, when the colonial masters started foraying into, this part of the world. First of all, through, the south around Akwa Ibom, Calabar, and then later towards places like Port Harcourt and Lagos. And Lagos has not failed. Lagos has blossomed. Lagos has evolved. Now, fast forward to the last 24 years, or let's say fast forward to the 70s or 1967 or 68, when these two states were established. I think that is the starting point for us, and see how far they have run that race up to this moment. And the numbers are very clear if you look at how they have all evolved. Of course, Lagos had the opportunity of being the capital of Nigeria, but then Kano had remained an economic mainstay. Like you said, we had the numbers politically. We have always been key to any political success at the national level. Suffice it to say, also Kano had been a shining light of opposition party politics, along with the likes of Lagos, right from the First Republic. So Kano has not been a state that has any reason to be lagging so far behind, especially in the last 24 years since return to democracy. It's very sad, scenario. From an IGR now we are now about the 8th in the IGR table. The last time I checked, Kano is supposed to be close, or even closing or head-to-head with Lagos in terms of IGR, in terms of innovations in bringing in, income, and in terms of infrastructural development. I would dare say I would have loved to see a Dubai of the Sahel in Kano. People that have been advanced, in ideology, in philosophy, in trade, in commerce. And sadly, this is where we are today.
Yeah, unfortunately, but Nigerians would think that Kano started off on the right track. The likes of the family of the Aminu Antatas have been trading for almost a century. Yeah. And they've traded across the West Coast for that long. They've been exposed to those. We've had other successful, basically the Aminu Antata among some of the first publicly registered entities in Nigeria.
That's correct.
And at some point in the early 60s, we saw the blossoming of the cotton trade, leading into the textile factories. Yes. And the evolution of some of the biggest markets in the sub of the Sahara, the Kantinkori market, the single market, and all of that. At what point did you see where off that development track? Suddenly, the factories started disappearing. The production hubs just became a trading hubs, essentially, and all of that. What exactly happened? Where did you miss it?
First of all, it is actually Alhaji Al-Hassan Antata that is the patriarch of the Antata dynasty. Alhaji Amin Antata is a son of Alhaji Al-Hassan Antata. And like you rightly said, these are pioneers, of the latter day, if you like, Kano commercial hub. But before they even emerged, Kano had people like them that have been bestriding business across the Sahel. They had come, they had gone. But then if you look at the 19th century Kano, yes, Alassane Instant is a very good example. You talked about the cotton, the blossoming of the cotton trade. But also, don't forget the granite pyramids.
That's right.
You know, agriculture, like you rightly said, cotton and granite agriculture was the economic mainstay of Nigeria pre-independence.
That's right.
Or rather, before the discovery of oil. You know, if you recall, before, you know, independence, agriculture was contributing over 50%
to our GDP.
To our GDP, and about 60-something% of our export earnings. This is where we are, and Kano was the key, you know, to the delivery of these, you know, natural resources and also income. Now, you asked the question of where did we veer off, and I would say the answer is we started veering off from 1999. Because later on, I will take you back memory lane to talk about what are those factors that led to that veering off. And to show you how we started veering off from 1999, because if we look at the First Republic and the Second Republic and the Third Republic, and we saw the trajectory, things started getting really, really bad within the context of Kano leadership from 1999.
I would like you to hold your thought on that.